Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another timeline and final thoughts. This time for the campaign that we've wrapped up on the YouTube. Did a full YouTube series for this, so if you're interested, you could check out the actual gameplay for this campaign, which was Denmark with the Northern Lions DLC that just came out for EU4. And Denmark is just a really fun and interesting nation, and even just so much more so now with the new thing. The first thing we did is we took back Gotland. We have a little mission for that. You start with a core on Gotland, so it really just isn't that difficult. Of course, before the flavor pack, there were just rebels there, and if you didn't take care of the rebels, they would form Gotland, but now it's just Gotland's attack at the start, and you just go and beat them up. Not a big deal. Sweden and Norway, keeping them under our heel was pretty easy for Norway. We were actually even pretty aggressive and agitative towards Norway, but Sweden was, of course, the one that was more bold in wanting to kind of break away. And there was a moment, actually, where if our ruler had died, and our ruler was like 68 years old, we would have lost the union over Sweden, and that would have been a nightmare, I can only imagine. But we did end up ultimately going influence ideas. We'll take a little bit more look at our idea groups when we're done with the timeline here. But we did a lot of things. We actually did a lot of active gameplay decisions and work to make it so Sweden would stay with us through the unifying of the Kalmar Union and into sort of perpetuity there. In this playthrough, that was definitely a challenge. And even when we were at peace, we were kind of thinking there was a lot of things we were juggling. And you have a really great mission tree as Denmark to give you a lot of different things to go for. So one of the first things, after taking Gotland, you get some missions to go and take over Estonia. So we ended up doing that. And then that leads you into beating up Novgorod. So we quickly went from Estonia, taking that for ourselves, and then giving some Novgorod to Sweden. With permanent claim, we took it with our permanent claims, and then we just transferred it to Sweden, and then Sweden could core it. And then when we integrate them, I think those permanent claims will make the integration. I think we still benefit from those permanent claims, even if the subject pays full price to core it, but then I think we get a discount to integrate those provinces during the integration. Then the other thing we're doing is we're beating up on Scotland because France is distracted with England and Burgundy. France had a lot of wars against England and Burgundy, and they weren't all successful for France. France actually did not do particularly well. There was a point when France, until they stabilized, and they kind of stabilized because of our help. We actually allied them in a way that helped France significantly. France was actually getting beat up. In fact, there's a point in this campaign where Burgundy is just popping off because they decide the Burgundian inheritance fires, and they keep everything, and they just absorb Brabant, Holland, and Flanders, and Nevers. They just absorb everything into one massive Burgundy blob. And then Burgundy actually takes land again from France. They take a couple of these provinces from France. Because what happens is France actually ends up doing a failed war when they try to subjugate Brittany at some point. Anyways, point of the story is we could beat up Scotland all day. So we're just beating up Scotland, having Norway make the claims on Scotland, so we have the CB. And then what we're also going to do is we're going to try to get a foothold for Sweden on Ireland. So Sweden's going to be taking over Ireland. Norway's going to be taking over Scotland. And we're still trying to race to get as much of Novgorod as we can. Unfortunately, Muscovy was quick. 2 wars and Muscovy got it. You can see here, Burgundy, right? Kind of blowing up. This is not accurate, though. Unless we missed the moment where they were all... Maybe... I don't know. It was sloppy over here with Burgundy. We're not going to be able to really know what happened with Burgundy moment to moment. Yeah, see, now it's showing... No. Yeah, Burgundy, Austria did swoop in eventually and break out some of these other countries from Burgundy. But anyways, we finished the rest of Livonian Order. Now, Livonian Order was allied to, I think, Poland, and we were allied to Poland. Poland did not get the union with Lithuania. So Muscovy takes advantage of that and takes a big bite out of Lithuania. I don't even think Poland is even allied with Lithuania at some points in this game. We attack the Teutonic Order to get into a war against Livonian Order and finish them off. So that's what we do. We finish them off. One thing to note, though, is that first war against the Livonian Order, the way we got into the first war was we attacked Riga. And Riga actually was in the trade league with Lubeck, and we conquered Lubeck, which we actually needed for a mission. So that was the one piece of HRE land that we've taken, aside from just integrating Holstein. Now, we released Danzig. It's not showing it on the timeline. Timeline's broken or something. But we do release Danzig. Danzig is a subject of ours at this point in the game, and they have additional claims, because if you were really keen-eyed there, you would have seen there was a moment in time in history here where Danzig actually had like a bunch of the Teutonic Order, but the Teutonic Order retook it, and then the Teutonic Order joined the HRE. So now the Teutonic Order is actually part of the HRE, so it's making it much more frustrating to try to reconquer this land for Danzig, which was the whole intention of taking Danzig. Anyways. Yeah, Austria is doing very well this game, very well. Overall, they have land up here. I think at some point they're going to... Well, they had land up here, but I guess they released that and let Holland do their thing. They had land up here at one point. They have some land in here. They start with some land in here. But they have this up here for some reason too, from Mecklenburg. There we go. So we've taken all of Norway in a big chunk here. What we're going to do is England is allied to Austria. So we attack Ireland to beat up England the first time. The second time, we do it again, because even though we've broken the alliance between England and Austria, we don't take any land. We just break the alliance, so we try to keep it short. We're like, we're to attack you, England. England allies Muscovy, and it's like, oh, great. Well, England's not that powerful, but Muscovy's annoying enough that fighting those two wars would have been frustrating. But then so we attack Ireland again, but this time we just take the land from England. We just say, forget it. We don't care. I'm just going to take the land unjustified. Doesn't matter. It only costs us like 15 Diplo. It's really cheap because we have influence ideas, and unjustified demands are cheap. So we end up taking a bunch here because what we needed to do is Norway had grown too big. Norway had more provinces than us, but we had meet the conditions where we could integrate Norway 50 years of a stable union. So we wanted to do that integration. So we needed to take enough land from England that we could start the integration process. Even though Norway literally had as many provinces as us, literally one less than us. It was like 30 provinces, we had 31. We still integrated them in 7 years with all of the bonuses and everything and all this and that and the mission tree stuff and whatever. It was insane. And literally, Norway just gets integrated like it's nothing. Now, there's technically a way that we could have integrated them passively for free based on random chance going from monarch to monarch. But I think, honestly, doing it this way, totally fine. It was cheap and it was quick and we just got it done. So... interestingly enough, though, the third war against England came quickly because we just attacked Muscovy. We're like, just screw it. We're just going to attack Muscovy. England joined in, even though we just battered them. So we battered them again, and England's just not having a good time. And then once we attacked Muscovy, we had Muscovy break the alliance with England. So now England's on their own at this point. And we took some land here. We gave this to Sweden, but it looks like it's not. The timeline's broken. It's not showing that. All of this stuff got sent to Sweden. But if we unclick, we'll see that. Yeah, it got sent to Sweden. This is Danzig down here. And that's where we ended the campaign, because for the most part, I think, to be honest, we're looking really good. We're looking healthy. We've even started colonizing. We have 4 active colonies right now. Bermuda. We have a colony up here in, like, sort of Massachusetts is more down here. And just Maine. Just in Maine. And we have... Newfoundland, and we have Greenland. Now, we started with Greenland because that's what we had range for. Then we got a little bit more range from an advisor, and we started doing the Newfoundland. These two actually, these forward ones are from events, interestingly enough. Interestingly enough. And we were allied to France and Poland. And the Pope. We're thinking about going Reformed. We missed the window to go Protestant. We could still go Protestant, but we're not going to get that sweet Reformation, Center of Reformation. So I'd kind of want to wait for that, maybe with the Reform to pop up. And I'm not sure what the conditions are for that to actually happen, but... So at this point, we can just easily, we have permanent claims on all of England, easily can conquer all of that. We have permanent claims over here to take some more from Muscovy, which we've already beat them down easily. We're more powerful. We're the third most powerful country in the world, according to this metric, which is really cool. We took... influence ideas and administrative ideas. So the cost to integrate was extremely cheap because there's a policy between these that's minus 20% diplomatic annexation cost, plus just 25% reduction here. And we actually even have 25% reduced core. I mean, to be honest, almost combining these is almost kind of silly because it's like, are you doing the subject thing or are you doing the just taking core thing, right? We're kind of just doing both. I don't know. I'm not worried about it. We just got an admin tech for 300 admin points. Literally 300 admin points because of look at all these bonuses here. I mean, it's just absolutely insane how many like technology bonuses we have too, and our ruler's a scholar. Now that we don't have an heir, and that seems like that could be a problem, but it does say that Sweden will still maintain the personal union will continue. Even without this heir, I guess the queen will take over or something. If we lost the queen and lost the ruler, then I guess it would be disastrous. But I think we have time to get the heir because we have the queen. I'm assuming. And I'm assuming if the queen took over, that we'd have the chance to get an heir at that point or something, right? Some kind of event would give us an heir or something. We could do this to get an heir too. I'm not worried about it. Point of the story is I'm just totally not worried about it. Actually, it's a prestige thing maybe as well. We do have quite a bit, like way more prestige than Sweden, that's for sure. Economically, we're doing fairly well. That's with paying for extra colonies. Oh, that's a good question. How do we have our colonies? How in the world do we have our colonies? We don't have expansion or exploration. Well, it turns out that with the mission tree, just colonial ambitions, just for embracing colonialism in 1500, you get a free colonist and a free explorer. And then by just discovering Greenland, it counts as discovering the new world, and we literally get another free colonist. So we have two colonists. That one will last for 50 years, one will last for 75 years, and then these were event-based. So we have two colonists that we don't even have ideas. We are thinking about going expansion or exploration, though, just to kind of like keep that wave going, just to kind of keep that going. Because in 50 to 75 years, we won't have colonists anymore, right? But that's still really, really cool to get that much of a boost without even needing the idea groups. I mean, we're colonizing at a good pace right now. Which is funny. Yeah, we've done all of this stuff, ratified the Kalmar Union, integrated Norway, not Sweden, but we're close. Integrating Sweden will actually get this unified Scandinavian, start that. We could actually potentially get close to forming Scandinavia, which starts a whole new mission tree, I believe. We're making good progress on conquering England. That's a done deal, basically. We're making good progress on taking over the Novgorodian area. That's basically a done deal. To do all of this is just a matter of going to war with these countries in northern Germany and beating them up a little bit, then developing our own stuff. This is trivial if we wanted to do this. It just means having our single war against Austria. We've already locked in the Danish absolutism before the age of absolutism, which is amazing. This gives us 20 plus maximum absolutism, which is insane. And if you don't do this, if you wait till the age of absolutism to do this, the requirements become harder and more difficult. We've already got an institution, a university in Copenhagen because of this mission. You do some cool little doodads here, and you actually can with the clergy, and you can actually start a university. It's so cool. 150 years, actually like 200 years before the technology even allows for universities. And the reason why this is so cool is because universities give you development cost reduction of 20%. So it's just like, oh man, it's so cool. We dev this up for pennies to get colonialism here and just to make it an awesome province. But yeah, we've curtailed the nobility just massively doing that event, which is kind of nice. Working on the colonial stuff. We've talked about we're barely getting able to start working on a lot of this religious branching religious mission tree stuff, which sounds interesting because it's like branching missions and stuff. Anyways, we're doing fantastic. We're doing absolutely fantastic. Like I said, I think one thing we could have done better is we could have had more army professionalism. We weren't drilling our troops enough. For how much peacetime we had, we weren't drilling the troops quite enough. I think we've taken a look at everything. Trade, we're making 17 ducats. That's 50% in the Lübeck node. There's quite a bit of northern Germany stuff that we don't have control of, so that's still pretty good. I mean, by the time we control all of northern Lübeck and northern Germany, we'll control all of England, and by then we'll kind of probably just feel good about moving it all down to the English node anyways, which I think actually one of these missions actually has us doing that. One of these missions down here, control the channel, yeah, control the channel. So, fun playthrough. Fun 50-year playthrough is Denmark. If you guys are interested in actually checking out the details of it and the step-by-steps and stuff, we have that recorded on the YouTube. But this is just to archive the run. If you have questions about the run, leave them in the comments and I'll answer them fairly quickly. I respond to all the comments on the YouTube channel. within basically 24 hours. I check it every single day. I check all the comments and read all the comments every single day. The AI is definitely much improved, like way improved. I gotta say, like Sweden, our subjects, Sweden and Norway, were like really doing well. Like they were contributing massively in the wars. And just being intelligent about like their positioning and sieging and carpet sieging and stuff. It was really cool to see. Anyways, but yeah, this has been super fun. I'm excited to potentially, I think we're thinking Norway could be a fun one for the Twitch stream. And we're thinking that we might actually be in the process of doing that. By the time this goes live, we might actually be in the process of doing Norway on Twitch. And then I'm thinking about doing Poland as a beginner playthrough as a follow-up on the channel. But thanks everybody for being here. Thanks for sticking around and being on this ride with us. And this was a fun playthrough as Denmark. And thanks everybody for being here. I'll see you guys in the next series.